And I was watching some YouTube videos. Let's see if it has it. Oh, it does have the summon feature.
All right, come here, Fido. Come on out. Come here, little Hyundai. Come here. Come here, puppy. Will it hit me? Let's see. That's the question. Will it stop? It's avoiding me. Is it gonna run over my foot? Oh, jeez. That's a little close.
Welcome to Hoopy's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and it is a very sad, gloomy, and rainy day outside, and it's very appropriate for this video because we have lost a hoopty. Pour one out for your hoopty homie because the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon Launch Edition is dead. If you all recall, I actually bought the car, well, almost 2 years ago. It was my company vehicle for work when I was more hands-on with the Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burger franchises that I'm involved with. And when I quit doing that and came to YouTube to all of you full-time, I decided to give the Gladiator away to my friend and the guy who runs all the operations of the Freddy's now, Phil Perkins, and well, he didn't seem too pleased, as you'll see.
Giving you the Gladiator. You're upgrading, Phil.
Woo! Right.
Honestly, he was surprised and very thankful. You never know how people are going to react when you surprise them, especially on camera, and his was a kind of muted. He thought I was joking, which is why he rolled his eyes. But in reality, it probably wasn't the best fit, a Gladiator Rubicon, a very heavy-duty off-roader for somebody driving 30 or 40,000 miles all over basically the Midwest. The gas mileage, something like 15 miles per gallon with a tailwind. The seats, not that comfortable. The tech, very cool, but kind of a weird pick to do that much driving with. Unfortunately, though, it met its demise in the dumbest way possible, and that's after a pretty minor accident. Phil was driving the Gladiator down the road, and somebody pulled out in front of him. He swerved to avoid them into the ditch and hit a pole, and that took out the front axle, the front fender, bent back the bumper, but no airbags deployed. The vehicle was still running fine, not leaking. No really major issues like frame damage or any serious body damage other than the bolt-on fender. But would you believe that that completely totaled out the Gladiator? Why is that? Well, it's because of parts availability. That was a weird Gladiator Launch Edition Rubicon, and there's no parts availability for the axle that was broken, and apparently among other things, so the insurance company chose to total it. You may think this is an unusual situation, but really it's not across all automakers. For the Gladiator, Stradman struggled to do his 6x6 conversion because sourcing the frame parts and extra axle was actually really hard. I think that was the story there, but all automakers struggle with this. We're gonna go to the Hyundai dealership in a little bit. I was talking to them the other day about a new Genesis sedan that needed a wheel well after a minor incident with a tire blowout, and they couldn't get a wheel liner for this car for a customer buying a top-of-the-line Genesis. That's just the way it is with parts availability nowadays, and that's why the insurance company, despite this very minor damage, something like $10,000 to fix this thing, and the Gladiator worth $50,000, so far from totaled, but because they can't get parts, well, it's gone. It's a very stupid reason. And I don't understand why automakers don't care about part sales anymore. It's getting more challenging for newer cars and used cars. Some things like Infinity parts, old Infinities like struts and stuff on old Q45s, the big flagship sedans, you just can't get them anymore. So the cars are just mechanically totaled over parts you can't get. And the cars are getting more and more complicated in the engineering that they're totaling themselves. I was just up the Wizards the other day. He was working on a Jaguar, a 2-liter diesel all-wheel drive, I believe, and was making a rattle from the engine. Turns out the timing chain, which kind of like BMWs, I suppose, except the timing chain is mounted in the back, and that requires removing the engine, and the bill he was estimating would be $5,000 to fix this Jaguar with only 80,000 miles on it. And at that point, the Jaguar's worth like $15,000, so it's not worth fixing. We thought BMWs with their timing chain woes were a big deal when it was a $2,000 job, a $1,500 job. But now there's so many of these horrible engineering snafus that it is so easy to mechanically total a car. And when you wreck them with all the gizmos and technologies and the bumpers and the mirrors and everything else, the headlights, it's very easy to total out a new car as well. We are in this throwaway society where everything's so complicated, we might as well just, well, think of cars as throwaway things. And it's why, despite me being a die-hard petrol head and I love vintage cars, I love V8s and V12s, I'm okay with electric cars because they're much simpler, much easier to understand and work on than the crazy stuff we're getting with new internal combustion engines nowadays. But we needed to replace this Gladiator with something else, and another Gladiator, well, he didn't really want that because it's not the best highway car. I was real curious what that was going to be like to 200, 300,000 miles, what he normally drives in cars, but sadly we won't find out because the Gladiator's dead. I'm sure somebody will fix it. But we went with an unusual choice for his replacement, which is at the Hyundai dealer. I picked it out yesterday. He's coming to pick it up now, and it's actually really cool. So let's go take a look.
Yes, a Hyundai is what he's going to, and I imagine a lot of you would be very disappointed to go from a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon Launch Edition to a Hyundai, especially if you're used to what they used to make, but they've come a very long way. My first Hyundai experience was actually a roommate's car. My first house, she moved in and she had a 2003 Santa Fe, and it was the biggest hunk of junk I had ever seen. The thing wasn't even 5 years old. Actually, there's one over here. Yeah, one of these. It was absolutely hideous. It still is absolutely hideous. And hers had the paint falling off just like this one. It was rusting in random places. It was the ugliest thing I had ever seen, and mechanically, it was a total piece of garbage. Every week she was asking me about a new noise, a new light, what was going on with it. Complete junk, and it didn't even have 100,000 miles on it. My opinion on Hyundai did change though with the new Genesis sedan. When I drove one, I actually owned one briefly, really liked it when I had my dealership, and then of course more recently with my Equus that I had. The Equus Ultimate was an incredible car for the money used, and now Hyundai's, well, they are absolutely beautiful. Just look at these things. Hyundai has several different design teams, not just one or two, several working on a certain model at a time. And the cars, their whole lineup is just so attractive compared to BMW. They've absolutely ruined the 7 Series with their front end treatment. And Mercedes, they just look so bland nowadays. Hyundai is doing some amazing things, but the Santa Fe was always something, well, I never really thought of. I thought, well, you get the new Genesis SUV, that's way better. A Palisade, that's the newest, hottest thing. But now they're making this Santa Fe calligraphy. And when Phil wrecked his car and got the insurance settlement, well, that was really the only option. The Palisades, there's a long wait for them. The Genesis, most of the SUVs, either too small or out of the price range, more than what the Rubicon was totaled out for. I'm actually getting off track here because normally people within the company buy cars from the GMC dealership because my dad plays golf with the owner. He's very good at shaming people into buying cars. I think they're actually nice products, but over there's like 0 all-wheel drive Acadias right now. There's really nothing other than a Yukon, which Phil thinks is too big. The same guy also owns the Hyundai dealership, which is why we're here, and well, they recommended the Santa Fe calligraphy, which is $44,000. I thought, $40,000 for a Santa Fe calligraphy, and then I saw it, and it's just absolutely incredible. Let's take a look. Phil!
What's up?
You seem more excited this time than the Jeep.
I knew it's coming this time.
Yes, I suppose. So it's not, this is the Genesis, which is really good looking.
Is this it?
No, it's
okay.
Hyundai.
Oh.
Which actually is pretty dang sharp too. The grille treatments, really nice, but they call these calligraphies. It's like their fancy design house car, and it's a way to make a Hyundai Santa Fe $40-something thousand, which is, I guess we'll see. The wheels are beautiful. The interior, whoa, sit in that.
All right. Fancy.
Yeah, it looks like it has some cushion.
Yeah, seats are nice, comfortable.
Better than the Gladiator?
Better than the Gladiator.
Gladiator seats were a little stiff and you were driving 30 or 40,000 miles a year. Look at the, oh, it's got texture to the speakers. Harman Kardon? This thing's actually nice. Holy moly, yeah, the redesign in the interior is what's new on these, and this is very luxury Genesis-esque. Yeah, it's got all the self-driving and heads-up display. Heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, Range Rover off-road modes, and quilted Napa leather seating. I mean, how could you look at this and then go look at a Mercedes that's twice the money and buy that?
Yeah, I can charge my phone. Right
It's
there.
got a holster.
Got a holster. Huh.
Slightly better than the 2003 Santa Fe that my roommate drove back in college. Yeah. Oh,
Oh, we have plastic. This is the most ASMR thing ever. Peeling off the new plastic.
Ooh, look at that shine.
And I was watching some YouTube videos. Let's see if it has it. Oh, it does have the summon feature, like Tesla and other cars are doing. So we can walk the car like a dog. You want to walk the car like a dog?
We can walk the car like a dog.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, come here, Fido. Come on out. Come here, little Hyundai. Come here. Come here, puppy. This is crazy. A Hyundai does this now. Come on. Yeah, come here. I guess it's steering. It wants to stay out of your way. Will it hit me? Let's see. That's the question. Will it stop? It's avoiding me. Is it gonna run over my foot? Oh, jeez. That's a little close. Curb, do you see the curb? Let's not wreck it right off the bat here. Oh, okay, it stopped. I didn't almost wreck your brand new car. That's really impressive.
That's crazy.
I guess now, backwards. Come on, little Santa Fe. I would just be doing this nonstop if it were my car.
In your garage.
Yep.
In and out. All
Yep.
day long.
All right, are you going to wreck into the side of the building? No, you're going to stop yourself.
It's gonna stop.
Good. Okay. All right, well, it is pretty smart.
Smarter.
Enjoy that. That's really cool. That's your ultimate party trick now.
I can do it anywhere.
Probably better suited to him than the Gladiator since he drives 30,000, 40,000 miles a year. 2.5, 4-cylinder, turbo, better gas mileage, more comfortable. Neat car. Hyundais. Amazing.
So there you have it, a $43,000 Hyundai, which sounds insane, but it has all the technology of a Mercedes S-Class and nice things like Napa leather, a suede headliner, and the engine, not bad either. 2.5 4-cylinder turbo, 270 horsepower, 8-speed. He's driving it home right now, and he says it's really stinking fast. Just absolutely amazing. But all that parts, all that technology, I'm sure is going to fail at some point. But at least the car was reasonably cheap to begin with, unlike most European imports where you're paying almost 6 figures for that kind of stuff and then it depreciates to absolute nothing. Buying a new car makes very little sense to me. CPO used with a big warranty, maybe, but if you're buying new, these Koreans, they know what they're doing. Thank you for watching.